Ladies and gentlemen, guys, gals, non-break pals, welcome back! We're back for round 7. This is the last round of the group stage, unless we've been told that there's like a millionth of a percentile chance that we go to a tiebreaker. But most likely we will not be needing a tiebreaker. That means that this is the last round of group stage for the first round of playoffs, the quarterfinals. My name is still Wandom. European time check currently. Central European Summer Time. It is currently 10 to 3 a.m. Lucky, you are in British Standard Time. How are you doing?
Oh, wonderful. At 10 to 2 in the morning, I've informed production that if I start to see the sun come up, I will, in fact, throw my PC out of the window. However, we are here to cast some more gaming. It's going to be Witness Gaming AU versus some other guys. Who cares about them? Nobody, because we're here to see Australian players smash NA players into the dirt and watch some NA people in chat get angry about it.
That's so true. It is going to be Bulls LAN team that Witness Gaming Australia will be playing against. Bulls LAN team. And you're looking at there's you look at the LAN and there's the immediate top 4, and then you kind of, it feels like Bulls are destined to be best of the rest in that sense. They've been playing really close games. They're actually currently sitting above Freyotech in the standings as well. Currently in the group stage. At least they were, but that was still while Freyotech hadn't played their last game or something like that. So maybe that's not true anymore. And I am updating the bracket as we speak right now to check that that is correct. It is no longer correct. They're back to 5th place. They're sitting 2 points behind Freyotech, so they are 5th place. But there's a bunch of really good players on this team. I think specifically when you're looking at Bulls LAN team, you're looking at Jay and you're looking at Slemnish on the scouts. These guys are very good at the game.
They are very good at the game. I mean, same to be said for, a bunch of the AU players. We've got Emrith, who's like, the GOAT at demo, it feels like. But when I was talking to a few of my mates earlier who are like saying, oh, AU on LAN, this is amazing stuff. How are they doing so good? I'm like, well, these guys, every time they fire a rocket or they shoot a scat gun shot or they fire a sticky fire grenade, you can bet your ass it's hitting the most damage humanly possible. Speaking of most damage humanly possible, we're heading into our first mid-fight.
Yep, where the demo men on both sides will be looking to do as much damage as humanly possible. It's very early bombs here coming in from Dingo. Gets shut down pretty early on. Now Scout trying to come in, shut down as well there. Cookie finding 2 early on, and is down bombing forwards. He's going to do enough work distracting, getting that kill actually onto the demo man as well for the blue side, and that means the Bulls are completely out of mid, and Witness Gaming just running in onto second already.
Yeah, Artist trying to paint his load on the Metalworks mid, unfortunately. Oh no! There's a blue Uber. It's so bad. Oh no! It's even worse. The blue Ubered soldier is in fact going to die underneath lower, so he is absolutely deceased. But the Uber comes in, dead on stickies, Scout dies, soldier goes in, gets air shot by Enrith. Nothing can be done, and now there's a full Uber going into last as they use the super through, and Cookie is just going to start holding the W key at this medic, not missing a single shot, and they're just going to mow down all of these blue players on this Metalworks map, and this looks like it's going to be a very, very quick 1-0 here.
Witness Gaming Australia kind of looking a bit on fire there. That's a weird push out for Bulls, I think, to some extent, but also, Witness played that so well. Beautiful stuff from Enrith, and now a round up already in less than 2 minutes on a map like Metalworks. Pretty nice.
Yeah, I mean, the one thing we're going to have to see here really is we got to see the Bulls team really deposit their load on this mid-fight, but really just paint it in just damage. That's what they need to do in this mid, because last mid was pretty lackluster. Sending some soldiers, they died. It was a sad news. But this time around, we got a little bit more control. No one's bombing in instantaneously. This time around, as we see some fade bombs, one bomb coming in, and it looks like they're just going to soak up that aggression. Red team now going to have to fight a 5v6 scenario, getting even worse as time goes on, and they're going to start considering leaving this mid-fight as they do even escape. Lau's going to escape them with and Cookie in tow.
Yeah, there's super early bombs there from Connor and Down, but unfortunately you just don't really fight that much. Down once again goes so far forwards in onto the middle, trying to distract and open up space for the rest of his team, but unfortunately just not quite there. Unable to follow up means the Bulls now walking in on to second here. Yeah, I could call them a BLT. We can make BLT cooking references. You can do that as well, Lucky, if you want. But we are currently fighting on second. Not much is happening. Uber is actually popped out onto Cookie, who is just going to get the kill onto Artist already. Now, counter Uber is available for Zilly here. It's going to pop it, but he's not finding much.
Yeah, this Uber is a little bit questionable. They just pop the Uber in through right side, don't find anyone other than Silver, so it's going to be a scout frag, but it's just going to be, you know, a hold into last, stalemate happening, and everyone's going to chillax and relax. Looks like Blue Team want to get in nice and early to get that sack off, and they are right to do so. It looks like they're going to be bombing in super deep onto Lau, and unfortunately, he just gets exploded very quickly.
Loud now, a bit of an advantage, but this is a bit scary, right? I feel like, I don't know about you, pushing out of Metalworks Lost, scary.
Oh yeah, so scary, super scary. Especially since the fact as well, you now got to push it to the second through the lobby as well, which can be rough in terms of sticky traps. But they managed to get through it just fine and start healing up on this point. Looking like they want to continue the steamroll in through lower, and they could get caught by one player here, and they do so. They lose Enrith, and that's going to call off this push entirely. Not having a demo man. Uber's now evening up, and they're going to make their way into alleyway.
Yeah, this is the classic sort of re-push angle. Very, very hard to push in through house unless you have a massive advantage. But high five in through that drop down. Such a nice pick onto Enrith. It's allowing Bulls to really come in, try to take this fight in on second. No, Demoman means such less pressure to deal with. But Dingo's just in the air. Doesn't quite hit the air shot, but down. That's a follow-up. Soldiers meet. Basically everyone hits an air shot at that point because you're stuck in the air now. Still kind of in. Artist wants to keep this going as he is up and doing decent amounts of damage, but has to back out now. Jay.
Soldier goes in as well.
High five is dead here. This is a bit weird. We're in an alley and down is kind of chasing, doing a bit damage. I think Witness want to chase this out. You have to be careful if you are. Bulls as you're down a lot of players, and this is one scout trying to hold on. Silver is going to fall, but Cookie still there eating a rocket. It's a bit of a weird fight. They're just keeping it going. We're not stopping.
Yeah, they take the Uber trade really late here as they bring it all in, bait them in towards the point, but it looks like they're going to lose their demo man for it, which is less good. But the red team are waiting in the wings, ready to get their players back into this fight, and they start bringing them onto the high ground as they're going to now bomb in. The soldier coming over the top there, landing on top of the medic. Lau is going to get super low, double bomb in, and he's going to get cleaned up. But in the meantime, looks like they've got a soldier in the back line, loads of damage being dealt. Cookie's going to find another one. And looks like we're going to have a little bit of an endgame scenario. Soldier on the high ground versus Demo and Soldier. He's going to bomb in, try and find Emmerich, gets damage loads, and cleaned up by the scout who finds two. And wow, that's pretty speedy stuff.
We just fought for like 3 or 4 minutes straight, and we're kind of keeping it going. This Artist playing super aggressive, and a bomb in from high five as well means that this fight is not stopping. Enrith is quite low. He doesn't have any players with him, so actually, ultimately, it is BLT kind of coming out on top on the mid-fight, maintaining control. But Uber's here. I think crucially, are kind of even. I mean, maybe now we're calming down.
Now we're calming down. Everyone's sort of, we say this, the soldiers are poking and prodding, seeing what they can find here and going up to the main door. Is high five just trying to see what he can find in terms of positioning, and just noticing that, you know, pretty standard hold on second. It's going to be a sack that's going to have to come in here once the Ubers even up. Not wanting to do anything prior to that point, just to see if they can get the force. Because sometimes it's better in this scenario to wait until they have the Ubers so you can force them and really pressure that. But if he doesn't have Uber, you really have to go for the straight kill, and sometimes that doesn't happen. So waiting for the Ubers to happen. Moving into the alleyway now, getting all buffed up on these soldiers. They're going to start moving forwards here, just trying to see how much space they can take for this bomb. Trying to move these red players out of position. They do lose one early on, and they're still going to send the sack in, lands onto the bridge.
Go.
It gets popped up, gets rocketed down, and Lau holds on to that Uber.
Yeah, really nice stuff from Lau there, staying alive, and that's kind of the end of the aggression for BLT, at least for now, right? It's such a precarious situation. Look at the round timer here, Lucky, as well. Only 50 seconds left.
4-minute gaming!
4-minute gaming. I mean, Witness are kind of peeking this for now, trying to see if they can get some kind of soldier in, but down, gets spammed out so hard to get in through house. The enemy team is expecting it now. Only 30 seconds left on the clock, and you kind of have to go. If you are BLT, if you want to maintain control of this mid-fight, this upcoming mid-fight, should we reset the round, is so volatile. I think for both teams.
The fattest, thickest Uber trade is likely to occur within the next few seconds as Blue team look like they want to do it, but nope, they end up losing a soldier. Now, if you are the Australians, I think you're just happy resetting this back to mid as well. Like, you know, just straight from second back onto mid. Give yourself an opportunity to win the mid fight and then push it all the way to a last if you can. It's much better than just hanging around on second. So Uber comes out here. They need to get some cap time down, otherwise the round's going to end. And looks like that's not going to happen. Uber's come out, and that is that. Going to a mid reset.
Going back onto mid here, that was just... Yeah, it's just a win. Like, I feel like we you know... as Europeans, we're not entirely used or not used to round resets on Metalworks, but usually they come out of loss, right? Very, very rare that you actually see second holds like that collapse into a round reset, because usually, like the alleyway pressure is enough to eventually someone will relent, right, and give up a point somewhere. But actually, there, like no one found anything. Back on mid. Last time around, first mid was a success for Witness. Second time around, not so much. This time around, it's High Five eating a bit of damage early as well. Has to wait for a bow before it can do any more damage. Both teams postured up. There's a bow onto down as Dingo falls as well. So Soldiers traded for the moment. Neither team really has high ground, but it's Jay finding a kill onto Silvo now. The rest of Witness Australia are not in position at all to do anything on this mid. And that is BLT running away with it. High Five so aggressive in onto the scout. Doesn't quite find the rocket, but Jay's there to support him. And they are chasing this.
They want this medic super bad, but he manages to escape, slip out onto last, starts connecting that beam up as well. And you'll notice as well, Lau has actually built the super really well. Already has, even though the beam disconnected, has the Uber first. And, you know, they're going to be able to hold into this last. They even lose a soldier in the meantime, so going to slow that down even a little bit further. Can't send a sack now that you're down one for the fear of the counter sack and doing a little bit of damage to your team, but you've got the ever-living threat that is Lobby, and the two sticky traps that are set up are very difficult to clear, so red team going to think better of it. Cookie's going to build his gun. They're going to chillax, relax, sit back on last, wait for the 4 minutes to expire, go back to mid.
It is, yeah, I think you're right. This pushing out of this last is so hard. Even if you have an Uber advantage, right? There's just so many little doorways you have to cover, and the choke points are so small. It's so scary to actually push out of, and yeah, you can. Especially with the 4 minutes. I'm just going to say it, like, makes it a lot easier to stalemate this out. Only 3 minutes left. High Five. It's now spawned on the battalions back up, and I do like this, actually.
Yep, I love this. Being an EU stan, you know, we banned the battalions back up, but I love this weapon. It's very good. Good for these kinds of situations where you can build up a banner while doing a little bit of spam. And then you have something extra after an Uber trade to pop out and give your team a bit of an advantage. And one thing to talk about as well is the resistance to sentry damage that can be provided when you pop that banner. So very useful for pushing in, but he's fed, died, lost the banner, has decided against it. It's sad news.
He's on the man treads now instead, is he not? Bit of a crap check checking.
Here we go, crap check. Here we go. Oh yeah.
Slimnish just runs into stickies on shutters, which is not the best start if you're looking to sack in your soldier.
Yeah,
maybe
I mean,
not the end of the world.
This is the flip side to pushing out versus also pushing into lobby.
Yeah.
You've got the exact same problem. Sticky traps are really a pain in this lobby area, so you've got to be able to clear those, and if you walk through a doorway, bosh, you are absolutely deceased sometimes. But, you know, what can you do? They actually opt now for the sniper as well, so man treads plus sniper, not the most common combination in the world, but who's to say this can't work as well?
Yeah, I mean, Slimnish has been pretty good on the sniper so far. He's very good on snipers sometimes. I think everyone's seen some clips in the past where this guy goes absolutely mental. Gonna need it, right? Metalworks loss is also one of those losses. He's not actually that good of a sniper angle. You kind of just have to go for the hero peek. As he gets the shutter door open, it is 150 damage to the demo. That's gonna open the door. High Five tries to go in onto Lau. Unfortunately, rockets. Eaten by the dispenser. So
yeah, this is precisely why when, you know, if you have a soldier with man treads, you're going to be jumping through the door, and maybe you go through on 300. After your first jump, you end up on 250, and the sentry still does full damage to you, even though you won't be levitated by it. Perhaps you need another soldier really just to help you chew through that dispenser. Just getting more rockets down. I mean, if you're tanking for the sentry, then your other soldier's going to have free reign, but the Uber trade's coming in instead.
Trade coming straight in through main onto Jay, who actually gets a lot of cap time there onto the point. As now they turn around and do shut him down, but a headshot from Slimnish onto Cookie is going to throw a little bit of a spanner into the works. However, everyone else on his team has fallen, so that means now the sniper is all on his own, trying to keep Zilly alive, who runs away for the hills, and that finally is going to mean that the door is open here for Australia to come back in, reclaim this second position. A bit surprised that they do this, actually. I think there's a world where you actually don't even cap that.
Yeah.
Is that too European?
That might be a little bit too European for their liking. I mean, they're Australian and NA, so they don't know about that concept, but that's something we can slip into the playbook later. You know, they'll review this and maybe think, wow, we could just, you know, chill. But here we are. This is much better for the blue team, actually, having the sniper. You mentioned, like, it's hard to peek into last, but having Ali and Lower to work with, those two long sight lines, and also being able to snipe onto mid and just get some picks is pretty good if you're a sniper. So, but he's not really finding anything too much so far. They haven't lost two, and the scouts even did just two shots him down. Unfortunate. And now they're all on the low ground. Oh, nice bomb from Connor. Gets the force and picks up a frag to boot. So, you know, fully bred for now.
I feel like we haven't really mentioned Connor that much this tournament, right? But Connor also, I was watching a lot of Witness Gaming Australia games, and these guys, like this guy Connor, is actually so good at Soldier. He's one of those players where like you talk to a lot of European soldiers, especially, they all really respect this guy. Everyone who sort of watched a lot of Witness Australia will tell you how smart this guy is. Such a good player. You watch the way he positions his stuff, so smart. Coming alive a little bit now. Witness finding themselves huge advantage, popping this in onto last already as Cookie's found one kill onto high five. Now Enrith just in onto last, but it's a nice headshot from Slemnish, in onto down, but this is Artis falling, no one there to support the point, and Witness Gaming turning the round from sitting on their last for almost 4 minutes, the round reset, to just taking it to the enemy last. Now they're up 2-0.
That's bloody lovely, that is. Basically, they pushed in, shove them in the spawn door, trap them there, set them the cat, done. Crap. What are they going to do? Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. Next mid fight.
Next mid fight we go to. We are kind of rolling out still, right? So I'm surprised. I don't know. Like, it feels like Bulls are kind of in this, but they're not. Like, they're just kind of losing out on the small players. Witness Australia sitting up a little bit better. Back on the mid this time around. It's a super fast coordinated bomb here for Connor and down, and everyone on the side of Balls is falling already. Connor does so much damage with that bomb. It is one scout of Jay in onto Lau, but he managed to stay alive for now. In! And he finds him anyway.
Oh, wow. That was, yeah, very nice play there from Jay to find that frag. I mean, the surf up into the air off the rocket did that for him. I mean, being levitated versus stickies and pipes, and then unfortunately they missed the rocket. If he hits the air shot, different story, but you can't do that reliably. So well played there from Jay to notice that. Hit it up into the sky, get the medic frag, and now you're not being pushed back to your own last off a terrible mid fight. Uber's nice and even. Going to be holding on to second here, and still all to play for in this game. Only 2-0, we're halfway through, so going to see what they're going to be able to do here. No funky off classes from the Aussies. They're just going to start building this Uber. I mean, the one downside also to the 4-minute timer is the fact that, you know, if you are going to decide to build an Uber, you are just winding down that clock even further. If you're aggressing, it doesn't really do you any favors. So maybe worth starting to move forwards here, seeing what you can do.
Connor's just kind of sitting in house for now, right? There's stickies up, protecting him as well, but you're kind of expecting the move sort of slowly over towards the alley area. Scout and the soldier on the side of Bulls already there to sort of try and protect at least a little bit, right? As Jay now runs back to get some heals. You can see down now. He's sort of getting buffed up, and you know exactly what's coming. Right? They're trying to stack in. Dingo trying to beat him to it. Just sort of spam them out early on, but now instead, maybe he's presenting himself.
Oh, Uber trade, what?
And the bomb's coming in. It's actually just a straight trade here, Lucky.
This is a great trade for the blue team. They managed to get in, meat shot onto the soldier, and shooting onto Enrith as well, getting tons of damage. And forcing them all the way back to mid in a 5v6 scenario. So this is looking amazing for the blue team here. BLT really taking the space. Taking all of that high ground off them, winning the spam trades for the most part as well, but now they've all moved down to the low ground. Getting spammed out by the soldier, tons of damage to both these scouts, but the Demo Man is struggling to stay on that high ground now, as blue team are all the way back in their alley, and really just not really getting anything done. They took the position, now they've lost their medic, and things are just beginning to crumble, and they're losing 3 here. They took far too long. They had a great position for a little while there, and then they didn't do anything with it.
That's such a shame there for BLT. Unfortunately, unable to get in time, as you say. And now, this for Witness looks like a free round. Look at the respawn timers of some of the key players here for Bulls. As Artist, 4 seconds still. This point is absolutely uncontested, and Uber just comes straight in onto Cookie. So much cap time. It's one soldier forced to bomb in and try to delay for now. As cap time keeps coming out, now the players are up for the sides of BLT, as it is one player falling down already. As now Slemnish is going to get killed, clean up by Silvo as well. Point pressure coming out, so much coming through. The heals are not quite there. Connor bombs in, but he doesn't find the play. And BLT, hold on.
God, they nearly beefed that with the scout just getting on top of that cap there. This Metalworks cap does go through pretty speedily, so Just got to be careful when it comes to that point play. But they are going to get on second and get rid of that threat now. But 79% Uber for BLT. They're going to start making their way into lobby with this ad and see if they can get onto mid without losing anyone, getting any casualties. But Silvo going to be ratting off onto the left-hand side here. Just making sure that that flank has got some pressure behind it, so not everything is barreling through with you. Uber actually popped into mid here, going to be going into lobby, but finds nothing. A little bit of an airball. I say that, lots of damage, and now trying to get back through that doorway. Does manage to do so successfully, but Silvo, once again in the back line. Oh, bomb from Connor in behind as well. Gets the medic. It's a bit of a disaster for BLT here.
This is a bit weird, right, though? It's only Enrith with Lau at the moment, who almost does have Uber, but Silvo's in behind trying to win this 1v1 with Slemnish and cannot convert. So now we're kind of stuck in house with a Demo Man as the Scout finally rejoins, and now we have an Uber. But this would still be a 3 versus 6 if you want to try push this through house, and they are actually just going to do it. Enrith goes straight in, tries to get this kill onto the Demo Man. Don't have a medic on the side of
Yo,
that means that they are going to get the kill onto Artis. But is that enough? This is a Scout. Slemnish in behind, doing Silvo that one much better.
Yep, that is a really nice heads-up play there from the Aussies. They look out onto mid, they see all of the players and the medic still in the respawn queue, and they say to themselves, look, no one's going to be able to connect that beam to that medic, so let's just use in, kill a bunch of players, retake mid, and now they're in an even Uber situation. I mean, pretty well played there from the Aussies. Nice heads-up maneuver, and very well read from them, so really showing that, you know, they've got the brains as well as the brawn.
They're sitting now, bit of an advantage here, right? Just on the middle. Expectantly not actually pushing forwards. They're up 2 rounds, which is pretty nice, but still, like this is still 10 minutes, right? You can very much come back in this game. Bulls find an opportunity. Unfortunately, it just feels like, honestly, from the pacing of the map that we've seen so far, Bulls not really in a position to do much about it. Even Ubers now is down, takes 300, and he's just going to bomb in. Dingo really likes that early counter bomb in. He's down, just going to bomb around, try to get out, does get shut down. Enrith with a trade kill onto Slemnish. All that they find. So now it's 1 for 1, 1 scout, 1 soldier. Every team really doing anything. It's Witness actually keeping up the pressure. Enrith super far forwards, getting decent damage onto the enemy combo here.
Yeah, just trying to poke and prod here, and but the downside is that even with all this poking and prodding, you're not really achieving anything because you've not got any soldier here to cover sack. If the soldier was in when he was dealing that damage, then he'd be fine. You know, they'd take the high ground stuff. But one thing they have been looking to do, Silvo has been poking around in lower, waiting for that soldier bomb to come out so that they can run Silvo in through lower and see if he can get that force onto the med with the soldier in play. And looks like he goes in, dies immediately, Cookie to a sticky trap, unfortunately, there. So they're going to start heading back, but really good aggression here. As Connor actually finds one player in lobby as well. So back and forth we go, Wan.
Yeah, this is down bombing in. This is a really nice angle here. He opens up so much for his team. A lot of damage dealt. As Witness Australia not pushing. Instead choose to sit back. This is a 1 for 1 trade now, and it kind of works in their favor, obviously. The timer is dwindling a little bit down to 2 minutes, but still time on the clock. Even Ubers, however. So that means, look at Bulls instead just opting to go in through alley and actually managed to find an early kill onto Silvo here. A lot of players flash, and Jay just hits all of the shots straight in onto Connor. Now this is a really scary position for Australia as Jay is just running amok in through the enemy team. Demo absolutely crushed. And that man, Lone Wrecking Ball, Cookie cannot withstand the rest of the pressure from Bulls. They break this nut right open, and they're going to keep on pushing here.
You know, Silvo with the heads-up play on the engineer, going to build that level 2 on second. Even getting it to a level 3, he manages to get the bind in before he gets back spawned. So he's going to have that level 3 gun just hiding right next to that spawn door. And it's going to start blasting. Oh, never mind, it's not. They know it's there. And he bombs in, manages to get it off, unfortunately. But they're going to start taking this second point. Just one lone soldier left to defend it on his own. Connor actually finds the scout in lobby, and down does trade out, unfortunately, in lower. But they're going to run in a few players here just to see what they can do, just try and slow them down now that they've got the picks. But it's going to end up costing them in the long run because this last is now, you know, going to be slightly easier to poke and prod prior to this push.
Loss is a bit scary, right, for Australia. There's a world where, like, I think if you're ever going to sack in from BLT, it is even Uber's right. You have to go now. There's still 2 players down, and you can see the soldier play is going to come in from high five. But there's no real support, and that means he is just going to fall. Dingo unwilling to go in. It's Artis getting killed to Enrith, though, with the pipes. from the lock and load. This is an open opportunity here for Bulls. Have to see if they can sort of recommit as Dingo is taking a lot of damage, but Jay is in on that bridge. Decent damage is dealt to the soldiers. Scouts are sitting through as well, and this is such an open corridor for Artist to run in. But unfortunately, a sentry gun kill for a demo is not a good trade. And so we're back out. Everything is okay and right in the world.
But interestingly enough, no engineer. They're sticking with the cookie cutter scouts, and they're going to start trying to run this one in. Whether it'll probably have to be a trade in the store, but it's like the entire blue team flooding bottom left.
Oh.
They want to go to last.
Wait.
They're just getting in there, very at the play. Oh, down! Some amazing rockets. They can't get to this cap in time. Actually, they can because the Uber comes out.
Oh my god, they're fine.
They might have been able to save that.
Those rockets are crazy, but you have to watch the point. It's already half cap. You cannot let this scout go onto the point. And now Artist with an absolute beauty straight in onto Connor. And that seals the deal. BLT are kind of back in this game. It's 6 minutes to play for. So have a little bit of time to crawl back in. But oh my god, Bulls are randomly now very in this.
That was a very, very nice heads-up play. Just doing the whole wraparound, sending it into last, playing the point. And just, you know, pretty beautiful stuff. I mean, it takes balls, quite literally, to make that play happen. And, you know, they just throw it at them, see what happens, and they end up getting a round out of it. It's going to be 2-1 as we head into our next mid-fight.
Artist starting out, sticking up the lower area, doing decent damage. Bunch of players, but he is going to eat a rocket in return. Now the high bomb comes in from down Connor once again. Very fast, nice little early rocket onto the scout as well. He's going to pay for it with his life. Dingo fighting that early kill to one soldier, and that means that now Witness Australia, they have no positioning at all. It is Enrith falling, and look at the flank that High Five has. They're trying to go in with the rocket from down, shuts him down as High Five now has to back off. So much damage though is still dealt because you do not have Enrith up on your team, and Artist just able to take second for free. Al has a bit of an Uber advantage, and then kind of peeking this a little bit. Silvo, let's just see what's going on, but I don't think you can push this.
No, they want to keep trying for this. They're playing from lobby, just constantly poking and prodding here, just to see what they can do. But Cookie is in. They managed to get 3 players in now, and the Uber is forced, and they managed to get Connor out of it. But it's like Lau is going to be running back with his combo, wanting to really bait them in. Enrith's super low. If they lose their demo, it could be disastrous, but they don't in the end. The capture still hasn't gone through for this blue team. One soldier in the back line does get cleaned up in the end, and down goes down as well. But you're stuck on last now. They've got this capture. They could go for a back cap. Sticky's above the door. Don't go. Oh, they need to clear Lauer. He needs to use. He does use the Uber eventually, but they lose Enrith on the door.
This is disastrous here. Cookie doesn't find anything with this at all. And now it's a demo down. No Uber to hold back either. Slemnish is right at the back with his team coming back from the respawn. And this is BLT's time to shine. It's 4 minutes. And they're looking to go in. Cookie is building a gun now. And it is already shut down by Dingo here, who is now setting up for his team as he's going to bump forwards. There's no stickies onto this point, but it's an early kill onto Slemnish and onto Dingo. Down is traded across here, and so much damage needs to be dealt by these remaining players, but it's just Jay alone in lobby with his medic, and Cookie is winning the 1v1. But Silvo is there to clean it up. Now Zilly alone gonna be forced to run right back out. That was so scary.
That was super scary, yeah. They're just playing on the knife's edge for this entire game, it feels like. So nice stuff though, coming out from both teams really, in terms of deathmatch capabilities and their team play. Both really showing up now as we head into the final round of the group stage, and you know, all to play for still, like we mentioned before. 2-1 scoreline, 3 minutes 24 remaining on the server timer, just to see how long they've got left in the tank. This red team posting up on the bridge, blue team now making their way into lower, just to see what space that they can get, seeing if they can get a soldier in finally. We've not really seen any sacks into this second at all from any soldier. There's always an early bomb or a sticky trap that sort of delays things, but the blue team gonna have a crack at this one. Head looks like we've got a body shot from the sniper to open things up onto down, and it's just something. Oh, the headshot allow. Very nice stuff.
Disgusting shot there from Jay, and that opens the door. Now surely this is your ticket if you are Bulls, right? The massive shot there from Jay. He already found a kill to down as well, and this is Silvo falling super late at BLT. They're looking with 2.5 minutes to try and tie this up. Uber already popped out as Connor places very far forwards, meaning to get this Uber out immediately. Now cleaned up as well. Down is quite low as the Uber is fading. The heavy is up, undealt with, but that is the scout sitting on the point trying to get through this heavy who cannot fall. Instead, Enrith goes forward. Dingo is there with the rest of his team. Silvo cannot hold on his own, trying his might. It is up to 2 minutes to play for, and either team here could come out ahead.
We've got a game on our hands now. Holy moly, as we head into the next mid. I mean, the Australians were looking pretty good for the first half of this game, and now, unfortunately, they're being picked apart, and it looks like they've managed to change up a whole bunch of stuff for BLT, make some adjustments, and, you know, start taking it to them a little bit more. But noticing that these Australians, they're aggressive, and you can exploit that in certain areas of the map. So, you know, really reading the gameplay quite well here.
This is one last mid, no overtime allowed within the group stage. The final round, Rift playing for a spot in the top 4, coming into the upper bracket here. As early on, it is Witness very aggressive, doing so much damage to the other side, and the health bars are falling down for Bulls. Really have the health to support it now. It is Enrith going down, meaning that the aggression has sort of let up a little bit. Down ends up falling there to Slemnish, but Artist now picked up by Silvo. Means that surely Bulls have to run with their tail between their legs, and Connor, he knows his ticket into the top 4 begins with the kill onto Zilly. Does pop the Uber charge, but they are finding so many picks with it. And now, where are the rest of them? Where are they?
What is going on?
What's happening?
The blue combo's running to lobby.
Behind.
They used that Uber behind, and now they're going to lose their med. I don't understand. And looks like...
We also popped the Uber, but Jay's in behind.
They used it in mid to get 1 kill on a soldier, and then they ran all the way into the enemy lobby. I think they didn't realize what side of the map they were on, but Jay in behind, going for it. Soldier bombing it at the same time, trying to collapse as many players in. They're all going to die for it, but at least they get the medic. Everyone's now taking one gigantic DM fight on this mid. It literally looks like a DM server. Apart from people are not immediately respawning as we have... everyone's dead.
Everyone except Zilly died. And there we go. It's 14 seconds left.
Also, do you want the good news or the good news? You want the good news?
Yeah, let's get the good news.
Witness Gaming EU just defeated Froyo.
Ah, we all knew that was happening. That's not a surprise.
Oh, you did. Anyway, GG's out of this chat as well as 2-2 for the scoreline for this map. Good stuff from both teams. BLT, the Aussies, showing that they're on equal footing, it would seem. But this was definitely one of the closer games, you know, that was going to make a difference to whether they were going to make a certain amount of seeding. I'm unsure how this affects things in general with Froyo Tech losing and where they are in the standings. I'd like to see a bracket. Potentially, but great stuff. Anything else you want to say, Juan, for this particular game?
This is really close. I was super surprised. I actually really thought, like, with the way that the Witness have been playing, that they're going to come and kind of run ahead of this and get this victory, especially in the first half. But Bulls kind of turning it on late. The hero plays from Jay coming in, carrying his team around. Such a beautiful sniper shot at the end there, right? But this spells the end of the group stage. And I think now we're going to go to a break. And then when we come back, guys, upper bracket quarterfinal time.
Woo-wee!